It was supposed to be a simple anniversary dinner. A reservation was made. A beautiful night. Nothing out of the ordinary until the moment they walked in. Two successful people. One loving couple. And yet, what they experienced inside that restaurant left the entire internet speechless. Because when a waitress decided they weren't worth serving, she had no idea who she was turning away, or what it would cost her. This is the true story of how Samuel and Danielle Washington's quiet date night turned into a public reckoning. A lesson in dignity, bias, and justice served cold. It was a beautiful spring evening in the city. Samuel and Danielle Washington were dressed to the nines, stepping out to celebrate a decade of marriage, and the successful year they had both just wrapped up. Danielle, co-founder of Tech Capital Investments, had just landed a major international deal worth over $20 million. Samuel, a tech innovator and CEO of Novatech Labs, had been featured in Forbes just last week. They were power players, but more importantly, they were partners. Still in love, still laughing, still proud of what they had built. Together, their dinner reservation was at Le Chateau, one of the city's most prestigious French fusion restaurants. Danielle had called ahead twice, 1 week before and again that morning. She wanted the night to be perfect. But perfection was the last thing waiting for them behind those gold-rimmed doors. The couple walked in confidently. Samuel wore a charcoal gray tailored suit, polished shoes. Danielle shimmered in a royal blue gown that hugged her like a second skin. The atmosphere was elegant, soft jazz playing, candles flickering, white linen tablecloths perfectly pressed. But the moment they approached the hostess stand, the mood shifted. A young woman named Amanda glanced up from her tablet. Mid-20s, icy demeanor, blonde ponytail pulled tight. Her smile evaporated the moment she saw who had entered. "Can I help you?" she asked curtly. Danielle smiled politely. "Yes, reservation under Washington. Table for two." Amanda tapped her screen. Slowly, too slowly. After a beat, she looked up. I don't see anything under that name." "I confirmed it this morning," Danielle replied. Amanda sighed dramatically. "Well, unfortunately, we're fully booked for the evening. You might want to try brisket and brews down the street. They're a little more casual." Samuel narrowed his eyes. "Are you saying we don't belong here?" Amanda shrugged. "Just offering a recommendation." At that exact moment, a white couple walked in behind them, dressed far more casually. Amanda instantly brightened. "Hi, right this way," she chirped and led them to a prime booth. Samuel and Danielle exchanged a glance. This wasn't about reservations. This was about something else. "May we speak to the manager?" Samuel asked, voice calm, firm. Amanda huffed and walked off without a word. A few minutes later, Jake arrived. Middle-aged, slick hair, nervous smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Is there a problem here?" he asked. Danielle explained everything, showing her reservation confirmation on her phone. Jake barely glanced at it. "I'm sure Amanda didn't mean any offense. It's a busy night, and she's just doing her best." "Her best," Samuel said, his voice a little sharper now. "She told us to try a more casual place while seating walk-ins in real time." Jake folded his arms. "Amanda has discretion over her section. If she feels uncomfortable serving someone, we respect that." Danielle's jaw clenched. "Uncomfortable? With what? Exactly?" Jake didn't answer. He didn't need to. The silence screamed everything they already knew. Danielle reached into her clutch and pulled out a sleek matte black business card. She placed it on the table, looked Jake in the eye, and said, "Then maybe you should know exactly who you just turned away." Amanda returned just as Jake picked up the card. She read it over his shoulder. Danielle Washington, co-founder, Tech Capital Investments. Net worth, $42 million. Jake's expression changed. Amanda's smugness vanished. And then Samuel stepped forward. He opened his phone and pulled up a video, a CNBC interview, where he discussed his latest tech breakthrough. Another clip showed him being introduced at a White House tech summit. "Oh, and one more thing," Samuel said quietly. "I've been recording everything since we walked in." Jake's face turned white. Amanda's hands trembled slightly. The balance of power had shifted. Completely. "You can keep your table," Danielle said, voice steady. "But what we won't leave here with is silence." They turned and walked out. Later that night, Danielle uploaded the video on Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, and TikTok with the caption, "You can have money, class, and confirmation, but some people will still only see the color of your skin." Within hours, it went viral. 500,000 views before dawn. By noon the next day, 8 million. Celebrities shared it. Politicians weighed in. Comment sections flooded. This is what Black excellence deals with daily. That hostess didn't just lose a tip. She lost her career. We need names. We need action. Local news stations picked it up. Then national. Then global. The restaurant's Yelp rating plummeted. People who had experienced similar microaggressions at Le Chateau began sharing their stories. The company was under siege. By that weekend, the parent company issued a statement. "We are deeply troubled by the events that took place at our Le Chateau location. We have launched an internal investigation and are committed to addressing the serious concerns raised." Too little, too late. Amanda was fired. Jake was placed on administrative leave. Mandatory bias training was announced chain-wide. But the Washingtons didn't stop there. They were invited to speak at a national restaurant and hospitality summit, where Samuel delivered one of the most talked-about keynotes of the year. "It's not about us," he said. "We'll be fine. But there are young Black couples out there walking into rooms where they're assumed to be less than, until they prove otherwise. The truth is, we shouldn't have to carry our resumes to dinner." Standing ovation. 2 weeks later, Danielle and Samuel returned to that same neighborhood. This time, they dined at a newly opened Black-owned restaurant called Elevation. It was booked solid every night, thanks in part to the publicity their story brought to the issue. The owner came to their table personally. "We don't just see you here," she said. "We honor you here." As they clinked glasses, Samuel smiled. "Crazy what one night can reveal." Danielle nodded. "And how far we've come. And still, how far we've got to go." This wasn't just a story about a rude waitress. It was about how often Black excellence is forced to prove itself, to justify its presence, to validate its worth. But this time, they flipped the script. Danielle and Samuel walked out with their dignity intact, because they knew exactly who they were. And the world got a front-row seat to a lesson in power, poise, and justice. Have you ever been judged before someone knew your story? Drop your experience in the comments. Like this video if it made you feel seen. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. Subscribe for more true stories that reveal the power of truth, justice, and identity. Hit the bell so you never miss an upload. Because sometimes, a story isn't just a story. It's a spark.